Hey everybody, and welcome to class today. Today we're going to be talking about the parts of an essay, which is super important for us to do because over the next month we're going to be writing an essay. So we need to know what parts are there so we can make sure that we have them in all of our essays. And of course, this will also be something that helps us as readers because if we know what parts to expect when we're reading a magazine article, for example, then we can understand better what it is that we're reading. So in front of you, you should have received an envelope from me that had this piece of paper inside of it. So if you need to, you can certainly go get that. Now, if for some reason you don't have this piece of paper, have misplaced it, you can certainly write this out on your own. Okay, so this is the parts of an essay, something that you'll refer back to later this year. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to always run across is we're going to be running across the attention getter. So if you wanted to, you can go ahead and write attention getter on that line. And if you would, go ahead and take an orange highlighter or an orange marker and go ahead and mark that with orange. Every time we talk about the attention getter this year, we're going to be working with orange. Okay, now here's what the attention getter is. It gets my reader interested from the very beginning. You're hooking them into wanting to read your article. You guys have seen that whenever we've worked with Scholastic articles, there's always an attention getter. Okay, here are some different examples of attention getters that are out there. In 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt stated, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Well, that's an example of a quotation. So quotation, you can write quote for short. That would be one good way that you could start your charity essay is with a quotation that you research off the internet. Okay, B, according to howstuffworks.com, the human brain weighs approximately 2.7 pounds. So that's an example of an interesting fact. Okay, so you could find some kind of interesting fact that connects to the charity you choose, and you could start your essay out with that interesting fact. Now, for both the quotation and the interesting fact, you would want to make sure that you tell where you got your information from. You'll be putting the name of your source down with parentheses around it. Okay, C, the Loch Ness Monster is real. This is an example of a powerful statement. When you say something that draws people in, some people, of course, are going to go, "Oh, I disagree with that," so they want to read it to prove you wrong, or they're intrigued by this fact that the Loch Ness Monster might be real, so it pulls them in with a powerful statement. D, have you ever wondered where ice cream was invented? This is an example of a question. I would say that this is probably the most used attention getter that I've seen in the past from students. A lot of times kids will ask an intriguing question that will get us involved in your essay that you're writing. Okay, now there's other type of attention getters as well, but those give you a couple examples. Okay, so after our attention getter, we're going to be writing our thesis statement. Okay, so you can write thesis statement down on your piece of paper, and let's go ahead and highlight that with blue. Okay, I'm going to find my blue. You can highlight it with your blue, and again, you can use a marker. You can use a crayon. You can use whatever works for you. Okay, and to be honest, if you don't have these colors, you can use whatever colors work for you as long as you always use those colors whenever we're talking about them. You could also do things like maybe you star the attention getter with a pencil. Maybe you circle the thesis statement. But again, make yourself a key so you're always doing those same symbols every single time. Okay, so the thesis statement is also called the main idea. If you wanted to write that off to the side, the main idea, what's the whole article going to be about? Okay, it is found in the introductory paragraph. Introductory paragraph. Okay, so introductory, remember when you introduce yourself, it's the first time that you've ever met somebody. So this is the very first paragraph. Okay, and it tells what the whole essay is about. In our case, we're going to be finding out 3 things that your charity does. And so in the thesis statement, we're going to list those 3 things. We're not going to give them any details. We're just going to list them really quickly, and then later we'll go into details. All right, so moving on, something else that you will have in your essay would be transitions. I'm going to use green always for transitions whenever I'm talking about it. So if you can find a color close to green, that will certainly help you out. Okay, they can be phrases or words. So it can be a single word like first, or it can be a phrase like for starters, where it's 2 or 3 words working together. Here are some examples. First, next, furthermore, moreover, last, then, for example, in conclusion. There's a whole bunch of different transition words. Those just give you a couple of different examples. Okay, and they help the reader move from one topic to the next. You're going to be talking about 3 different topics in your essay, and so it'll help you move from the first topic to the second topic to the third topic, and it will start every paragraph. Okay, it has that word trans, which of course means to move across to one topic to the other. Okay. All right, so you guys are doing a great job. Way to hang in there. The fourth thing that we're going to be looking for in essays always will be topic sentences. And whenever I deal with topic sentences, I will always be using yellow. So if you can look for yellow, crayon, marker, highlighter, or again, maybe you do an underline for all your topic sentences if you don't have any colors available, colored pencils, whatever works for you. Okay, the topic sentence, they tell what each paragraph is about. Okay? What it does is it helps readers that they don't have to read the whole paragraph. They just have to read the first sentence of the paragraph, and then they can decide if they need to read more of the paragraph or not. So it's a good way of skimming through as a reader and getting the most out of what it is that you're looking for when you're doing your reading. Okay, here's just a helpful hint. If you have 3 topics, then you should have 3 topic sentences. So in our case, since we're looking for 3 things that our charity does, we will have 3 different topic sentences. Okay, supporting details will be the next thing that we are working with. And I will always use pink for supporting details. Okay, supporting details. These sentences tell more about each topic. These are the pieces of evidence. They're specific. They're factual, they're interesting. You're going to be finding these on websites, and you're going to need to go into some detail about them. Of course, as we're writing down our supporting details, we're going to make sure we say it in our own words, that we're not plagiarizing, we're not copying and pasting. And if we really like something and we bring it over into our paper, then we're going to put quotes around it. Okay, all supporting details in the paragraph connect to the topic sentence. So if my topic sentence is talking about how the Red Cross helps with blood donations, then any supporting details should have something to do with blood, right? I'm not going to talk about CPR in there. CPR is dealing more with like your lungs and your breathing, okay? If I'm talking about blood, then I wouldn't want to talk about how the Red Cross works with natural disasters like tornadoes. That doesn't fit in that paragraph. All right. Now, these will be 5 paragraphs in length when we write our essays, and this is the last paragraph. It's called the conclusion paragraph. This is the final paragraph and may look similar to the introduction paragraph. Okay, so once you do your introduction, the conclusion is going to be so much easier because they're pretty much going to look the same. Okay, it includes a final transition. Let's go ahead and highlight that with green because all transitions are going to be green. It restates the thesis statement. Okay, and the thesis statement again tells what was the whole article about. It's going to list our 3 things that we talked about. And it's also going to have a memorable conclusion. I'm going to put attention getter there, and I'm going to highlight that in orange. Whatever my attention getter was in my beginning, I need to make sure that it looks very, very similar. Okay, so make sure that that attention getter in the beginning and the attention getter at the end are going to look very similar. You're going to see a lot of different articles that show this, a lot of different essays where you can try finding all these parts. You're going to make sure that you put them into your essay, and the more you see it, the better off it will make sense to you. So please keep this paper near you, keep it safe so that you can refer back to it many, many times. Okay, if you need any help, certainly rewatch this essay. And certainly give me an email if you're having any troubles finding materials to do this. Thank you.